What is going on, everyone? In this Memorial Day weekend, there's going to be a lot of talk about what Joe Biden said in an interview with Charlemagne the God on the Breakfast Club. Now we've got Tim Scott, Senator Tim Scott. He's talking about black voters and comment on black voters. He's saying it's the most arrogant and condescending thing he's ever heard. So basically what happened was Senator Tim Scott told Varney & Co. on Friday that presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden made the most condescending and arrogant comments toward the black community he has ever heard. Biden faced a swift backlash on Friday for suggesting during a radio interview with host Charlemagne the God that those having a hard time figuring out whether to support him or President Trump ain't black. Scott said such comments are not surprising, considering Biden's record in sponsoring a crime bill in the 1990s that jailed more African-American males than any other legislation. And President Trump comes along and, through his criminal justice reform, corrects the absolute mistakes made by Joe Biden. The dust-up occurred 17 minutes into the former vice president's interview on The Breakfast Club, a nationally broadcast morning talk show popular with black listeners, when a Biden aide tried to end the interview, prompting the host to charge, "You can't do that to black media." Presumptive Democratic presidential nominee stressed that his wife had an upcoming engagement and suggested he would have to go whether dealing with white media or black media. "Uh-oh, I'm in trouble," he joked as he referred to making his wife wait. Biden and his wife, Joe Biden, share the same studio in the basement of their home in Wilmington, Delaware. After Charlemagne the God, who was black, then asked Biden to come back on the program. Again, and the former vice president agreed. The host added, "It's a long way to November. We've got more questions." That's when Biden dove into a rapid-fire defense of his record with the black community, saying, quote, "I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black." It's unclear whether Biden meant to refer only to the host or the black community as a whole. But yeah, man, the "you ain't black" quote is really blowing up on social media right now, and people are going nuts about it. So not a good look, man. Joe Biden is digging himself a deeper and deeper hole, and he is not helping himself. He really isn't. It's a critical election coming up in November, and when he says stuff like this, he just makes it harder and harder for himself to dig himself out of the hole he's got himself in right now. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as a result of all this, but it's a mess, man. It's a mess. And Tim Scott coming after Joe Biden. So Tim Scott tells The View, media making the same mistakes they made in 2016. Of course, when Hillary Clinton was, the big favorite versus Trump and then failed to deliver the goods. So it's a mess, man. It is a mess. We'll see what comes of all this as a result. But yeah, Lady Gaga, I'm sorry, that's something completely different. I'm looking at the new song they have, but Tim Scott going after Joe Biden. It's a mess.